Okay. All right. Being that it's 7 o'clock, I'm gonna call this town board meeting to order. The fire exits are outside that door at each end of the hall. There is a defibrillator across the hall if one is needed. We will start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag, and a moment of silence for all deceased residents of Hamlin. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we will continue with the invocation from Pastor Chris Bowley of St. John Lutheran Church.
Well, that's great. Lord God, we thank you for today, a very unique day here in this part of New York, and we thank you that we can be here in this place and for the residents of Hamlin and for the leaders here. And we pray that you would guide and bless this time of decisions and this meeting that takes place and give direction. And we pray that it would be for the benefit of each of us and for all who live in this place. And we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Clerk, please do the roll call.
Robot.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Volkov. Here. Jaeger.
Yes,
Cox.
here. Here. This brings us to the public forum. Anybody who wants to talk, please talk to the board as a group. Try to keep it down to 5 minutes. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak to the board? Seeing that there is nobody, we'll close the public hearing. Requesting town board resolution to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of March 27th, 2024.
Second.
Can I, sorry,
Yeah.
can we just make one addendum? Sorry, I know I just been but there's a section where we're not, charging for February for dog licenses. Maybe just put a little blip of why not, because I think people might be like, why are you not? Okay. I'm not doing that. Just the reason behind it.
So
No, that's fine.
with the change.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Robot.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Volkov. Yeah. Jaeger.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve the payment of bills from their respective funds.
So moved. Second.
Robot.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Volkov. Yeah. Jaeger.
Yeah.
Cox.
Yes. Supervisor's report, monthly report filed. Requesting town board resolution to, all right, I'm gonna ask our attorney, before we go on with this, did you ever check in that thing I just talked to you today about?
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance to look at it, I got hung up on something else. But I don't think that is, I think it's the site plan approval.
I
Not,
think she misspoke, said,
yeah, I think she misspoke.
I've never done the beginning of it, tell her, and she was telling me we needed a public hearing.
Sue Marino tried to tell Steve today that the town board had to have a public hearing to approve the building of the site, the tower. And I said, I think she misspoke, I think that's the, planning board has to have a public hearing for the site plan approval.
You ever been, I mean, you've probably
We
been.
did a public hearing for the,
So we went on that.
yeah, but you were gone.
But no, this is a cell tower, this is not a solar farm.
No, this is
No,
not
this
the
was
one
a
on
cell
that.
tower.
Okay.
It was the one on North Hamlin. Because that was the meeting that I had to,
Whatever, that's all.
yeah. That was a public hearing for the cell tower, but I don't remember at what stage that.
I've never done the beginning of a cell tower, so I was
I'll
more,
look at it then.
we can always add it, I guess. Lauren,
We have
she's
done-
gonna look it up right now.
I think they did come to us for
Yeah,
approval.
yeah,
Instead of the planning board.
I
For
think,
some reason.
I mean, they gotta do a site approval for it too,
Mhm.
but I think we did the public hearing, the town board.
We done.
Yeah,
to put up a cell tower.
We did, they
Okay.
brought in all the specs, they showed us, and they had questions.
Okay. We can always add that here, she's gonna look it up. So we'll go on with this as it is, and then we will have to add. Requesting town board resolution to schedule a public hearing on 4/24/2024 at 6:30 PM to discuss introductory local law 2-2024 on flood damage prevention and local law number 3-2024 on lowering the conservation overlay setback from 1,000 feet to 500 feet. Any questions?
What are they? What are we?
Well, the one is FEMA. The floodplain thing is, we've had to work with FEMA, and they finally came up with, we gave them all of our stuff 2 or 3 months ago, and then they came up with a plan, and now we have to do revisions, so that for their plan, what if we don't do it, then we can't get any FEMA money for anything happening on the lake.
Can you send us something?
It's a,
I get it.
I know, but what is it, 36 pages?
It is.
At least 36 pages. we can
Yeah.
send it,
Yeah.
That's why I didn't list it whatever here.
It also includes, we get new flood maps. I went to a, meeting, it's like 7 years ago, down on Saxwell Road, at the Community Center, to discuss all the new maps. It's not taking them this long to put all that out.
So in a public hearing, we're just gonna discuss it.
We're gonna discuss it, and then we can maybe vote on it after that, and everybody will have a copy of that before the public hearing. But I didn't give it tonight, because like I say, it's 30-some pages long, and
Does
Well-
it have stipulations of like what we have to do with the community to change them?
It has.
yeah, there's some,
There's some changes, some for the better, some for the worse, like the CHA and flood damage on the lake shore.
well, like I also said, they've come to this point, and if we don't approve it, you don't get any.
And then these other residents don't get a break on their.
Or the flood insurance, yes.
insurance.
You will not be able, I don't think you'll be able to get flood insurance on the lake then, if you don't approve this one.
But we can modify it?
We already modified it, they want us to modify it to what they want now. We are modifying it to read the way that they want,
To satisfy you.
to satisfy. Yeah. And the other one is, setback conservation overlay, right now there's a 200-foot conservation overlay from a whole bunch of streams, creeks, or whatever here in town. So it's 200 feet away from the stream or creek. We have a rule in our book that we just found out that, I don't know when it was put in there, but on top of the 200 feet overlay, there's another 1,000-foot setback. You can't build anything. So our one tower on North Hammond Road, we can't build or anything because it's not 1,200 feet away, which is exceedingly long distance. It's a 175-foot tower. If it tips over, you still have 1,000 and a little over 1,000 feet before you can get to the creek. Or stream, whatever that thing, Brush Creek.
Which one would be Sandy Creek, right?
It's Brush Creek. It's the one that we're doing this for, but it's also, it would be any creek in town, 1,000 feet is just ridiculous. And like I say, that's on top of the 200-foot setback, it's already there.
So it'll be a 700 foot?
In the end, it will be 700 feet now, yes. So that just explained what goes on.
So moved.
Second.
Probert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Jaeger,
Yes.
Bus.
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes, ma'am.
It does in our town code under section 506-16. Prior to the approval of any application for a special permit for wireless telecommunication facilities, a public hearing shall be held by the town board. So you do have to have a public hearing. So if you want to set that,
I guess second question I'm gonna say now then too, can we okay it without the planning board even looking at plans? Or do we make that stipulation that the planning board approves that we approve it.
I don't ever remember planning board going for whether it's communication.
Well, I mean, they gotta get, what you call it, the site plan approval or whatever. They do it before a site plan approval.
The town board shall schedule the public hearing referred to in subsection A of this section, once it finds the application is complete. Is it complete?
We don't have it yet.
Okay, so we're not scheduling a public hearing until it's complete.
There's only a few items that are still incomplete. And one of them is this we're taking care of. The public hearing.
The application for the tower, the other thing is their insurance, is that as soon as we change it, they will have the insurance.
And I think, I did get some insurance today, so it might be in one of those.
There's only two things that maybe the night that we do this may be complete.
Yeah, so you have to wait for the application to be complete, so.
Okay. So we can schedule it right now. Okay. All right. Then we will move on to number 10. Requesting town board resolution to advertise in the West Side News to schedule a public hearing to discuss lowering the conservation overlay setback from 1,000 feet to 50 feet.
500.
500, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Public hearing for instructing local law number 2, flood damage, and public hearing for local law number 2-2024, flood damage prevention. So,
Second.
Robert?
yes, no, you're fine. I was just saying, we're just asking to put this other stuff in the paper.
Robert?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Wolfle? Geiger?
Yeah.
Buzz?
Yes. Is there any other resolutions that need to be talked about tonight? Seeing that there isn't, we will start with our reports then. Councilperson Yeager.
For library, they had a NASA ambassador, Dr. Damian Ellis, presented about the eclipse that was today. And they did a fun craft making silly frogs. Little preschoolers do little tongues that roll out. So one of those things. I have a report for the annual report for the visits to the library just in 2023 is 24,522 visits for our little library. So that's pretty good. And we have 1,454 library card holders. I'm not going to go through this, but I'll get this to Patty Joe. And then for library books, it was 48,000 library books. That's pretty impressive for a good little library. They have a lot going on. Do that. Dog shelter for Hamlin had 16 calls, 6 dogs in the shelter, 3 dogs were adopted, 4 dogs were deemed to owner, 3 vet appointments. Total number of dogs in the shelter was 12. They had 3 dangerous dogs, one from Palmer, one Sweden, and one Hamlin, all biters. So they filed 3 to the court for those dogs. They also had their inspection. There's a lot of stuff in the inspection. I don't know if we talked to you about that.
I didn't get a chance, the inspection was just Friday, didn't get a chance.
Yeah, it was just a lot of it, but they were recommending that they really need to do like a friends to the library like we do with rec in the library. This would help with a lot of the money that, things. I guess they also talked about doing an addition, I think that needs to be bigger, do the building does, for some of the clean out stuff, so, but there's a grant for that. And that probably be 100% funded, and that was from the New York State Animal Protection Federation.
Yes, that's why we joined that group, the
Right.
State Animal Protection
Yeah.
Federation. They were supposed to send a grant writer out,
They did, so.
and that's who was looking at our place to see what we can get for grants and what we need. And
Yeah, she said everything can get funded that they need, so.
Okay.
No, I just have a shopping list on what stuff we gotta buy for that. But everything went well, but there is, either we have to get a bigger building, she thinks, or we should do a, like an addition. I guess we're gonna have someone come out and give us an estimate, see what that would
Yeah, we have to look over her recommendations and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
see exactly. I know the smell or whatever, the ventilation, because we have no ventilation right now, so that was one of the issues.
The sewer trap, the drains and stuff.
Right, the drainage, yeah.
But she made it sound like it wasn't a problem getting stuff on them. The lady did.
That's good.
That's it. She volunteers, but I think that's why she's suggesting a lot of places have like their friends direct, they have friends in the dog shelter. And it's a lot more, it's more helpful, because there's a lot of people around here who are probably doing something like that. And they can do fundraisers, they can do a bunch of stuff with the dog shelter, for like additional costs.
Okay.
So it's something to look at. We'd have to do it as a not-for-profit, like the rest of them.
You know, they are coming out with, we're to look at it shortly, see your recommendations, but I think the grants are coming out again. They came out earlier this year, they just came out. I guess they're gonna have a fall from what he was saying, right?
Right.
They're gonna have something in the fall, so we went to look at it here in a while. See if we can get something in for it, just so we get grants here in the fall.
There's some people get, like, Grace was having like $1 million right?
Their new shelter, they're just building, they had asked us to help them keep their animals, and we just didn't have enough room.
Right.
They were saying they could have 10 or more animals a week, you know, as big as Greece is, and we just, we had to turn them down, we just couldn't
Right.
do with that.
Oh, another thing too is they're not getting, Harmless not getting their bill. With our, I guess we haven't billed Harmless.
They just, yeah,
Okay, it might be the news, it might be their new supervisor.
well, they're a little bit slow, because I just had them, I had asked them, because I sent the contracts out in early January,
Right.
and so I was contracting Parma and another town. Where are my contracts?
She's new, right?
Who, in Parma? It's Jim Roos, he
The
was
Jim
there
Roos, the
last.
supervisor.
Yeah, he's not new.
But they do have a new dog warden, I believe, I don't know.
No, our Fritz is still.
It's still-
No, it
going.
must be Clarkson then, it's a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clarkson's new,
Clarkson's new.
Clarkson, not Paul.
but
Yeah.
I also just called last week about their contract too, so we just got their contract last week too.
She's just a little.
No, that's fine, we just got a contract and nothing, we can't bill them if
Yeah.
not enforced.
That's
We-
right.
That's good.
We'll send them a
Just
bill,
do
but
that.
like I said, we just got the contracts done like last week, Thursday or Wednesday, so,
But that's it.
okay. Councilperson Vogel.
The History Center, I don't know if you guys saw, I think you did, because I just did mention it, Dave was looking for, letters of people's eclipse experiences to kind of put together a little book about the solar eclipse, so it was push that on social media. So,
Like what we
just,
did.
you know, where people were, what they did, what the experience was like, you know. And open hours are still Sundays, 1 to 3. The chamber, I did not attend the meeting, Maureen and I can be on the top, feel free to say anything about it.
Actually, someone, stepped up, to be the president. Danny Strauss, her husband owns some lawn care, I can't remember the name of it. So, she's younger, very, energetic. So, next meeting is next Wednesday at 7:30 at the, Hilton Diner, so. I think maybe there might be a little movement going on, yeah.
Liz, I don't know if any of you have talked to Liz, she's, I'm sure, but last week she said it was a little bit not as busy as she anticipated it to be with, phone calls and people wanting to come in for informal, so I don't know if that's, you know, a good thing or gonna get busier, but she was pleasantly surprised. And I think there's been obviously like a lot of chatter about the reassessment, I'm sure you've all talked to people about it.
Not as much as I thought there was. I only heard like 3 or 4 people complain to me,
Really like one.
so it's not as much as what I thought it would be.
I've heard a bunch, but a lot of people are actually I was surprised, a lot of people are pretty reasonable saying like, okay, like my assessment went up this much, but the taxes, I think they're finding that there's the tax rate being, which are estimated taxes are, a lot of people are saying the same, or maybe some people are down, people are pleasantly surprised with that. So
That's it? Okay. Councilperson Wright.
So, let's see, the senior group, they discussed about having their unused reservations be available to social members at the full price. Deputy Payne was there to talk about the eclipse. And, let's see, the Hilton Fire District, they talked about the zoning for Pleasure Lanes got denied for the guy is trying to redo the front part of the Pleasure Lanes for smaller stores. And then also he's trying to put in a Dunkin' Donuts in the side. Hilton Fire had 96 calls and 50 for EMS. They're still having management problems at Monroe Ambulance. And they received no report from them. The VFW is trying to come up with a way, because the paving for their parking lot, extending the parking lot is gonna be over $100 grand. So they're trying to come up with ways to figure out how to cut the cost down a little bit. They don't wanna have to take a loan, but they may end up having to take one. And Eric Peters took over for Angel on the board there. On the June 14th and 15th, they're gonna have a camp out. And they're gonna also have a jamboree that day for $10. They also talked about the Wheel Fest and having a wagon forum. And I was unable to attend the conservation meeting. And for the ambulance, they had so far year to date 286 calls, which is like crazy to have that already. They had a 16% increase over the prior year. The 2459 is completely out of service, and now they're gonna have to figure out how to reimagine to try to get a new one. And then the state had 4 extra ambulances around town today. Obviously, they probably didn't end up using them. And they also had a second one up at Strong West. And that's about it.
Do veterans still have swimming on Memorial Day?
Yes, they're still planning on it. We're gonna have the cleanup before, and they're hoping to have everything all set to go. I forgot what the count on the bricks was, but they're having a problem with the bricks because if your name is kind of long, they didn't realize for the third, they'd have to have a third line on the brick. So the names are like going on the back side of the brick. So that doesn't look too good.
Are they still selling?
Yep, they're still, yep. They're putting another one, I think they were putting another ad in the paper for them. It's $100. I think they got at least a couple hundred, I'm assuming, somewhere around in there. That's it.
That's it? Okay. Councilperson Hurlbut.
Yeah, and Walker Fire District, they've had 117 calls year to date. Morton has sold the baseball field they had to the town of Kendall. And then they mentioned maybe have a possible follow-up meeting with the town after the eclipse, but I don't think we're gonna need a follow-up meeting. That's it for the fire district. Farmland protection plan, we had 9 people present at the meeting. There was a worksheet handed out, I passed it along to you guys as far as how some of the current town codes affect agriculture in the town of Hamlin, and maybe possibly in the future looking at some of those codes. And then we also discussed other possible opportunities that would keep ag viable in the town of Hamlin. kind of a roundtable discussion on that. And then, planning board, from April 1st, there was a special use permit for 240 Morton Road for a dog grooming salon that was approved. There was a single lot subdivision for 1665 Redmond Road, that was approved. Conservation Corridor Development Permit for 5852 West Wautoma Beach Road, which was approved. And there was a site plan amendment for, well, before I get to that, I guess, it's special use permit for 236 Lake Road East Fork. That is a continued application for next month. And subdivision for 1377 Hamlin Town Line Road. That was scheduled for a public hearing. And then there was a site plan amendment for 7 Fencewood. And there was a question on that, which Fencewood was never dedicated to the town. So we're gonna have to look into that.
Oh, how long has that road been there?
Yeah, it's gotta be
More than that.
I have to look at the code, I think
It's,
there's,
it's closing up on 30 years out there.
probably more than that, because that guy's site plan was from the late seventies.
Yeah, his site plan was from 74.
Okay.
yeah. I think there's a lot for 10 years, the town board can just take it over. I'll look into that.
We
Yeah,
have paved it and we've been keeping track of the road, paved it, and every other thing, so like.
it's been, yeah, the town's been doing it for over 20 years. It's just formally, I don't think is ever,
I think after 10 years, you can take it over. I mean, look into that.
so that was, yeah, that was the question on that, good question. That's all I got.
Okay. Building inspector, Cheryl.
Okay, next month, the department has issued 16 permits. See, I made an error, I'm gonna have to amend it for next month. And the cost received, I think it was $1,067.20. Valuation was over $140,000, which is, any valuation is good for the town. 2 certificate of occupancies, phone calls into the office, 211. Still send out 13 violation notices, which could be also from multiple topics. Just reminders for people what they need to do. And I just started taking an 8-week class. It's a 1.5 hours every Thursday on the local waterfront revitalization programs. So it's a Zoom in the office, so every Thursday from 9 to 11:30. And that's it.
Our highway superintendent, Mike.
We don't have a lot going on right now, it's changing kind of gears from winter to summer. We've been getting quotes on getting our brush pile ground, so hopefully I'll have that for the next board meeting, so we can put the quotes and approve some. And I think the vendor that we've been using is, we need to at least have some checks and balances and make sure we're in the ballpark there. We'll be getting out in the parks tomorrow and start mowing and prepping some fields where we can here and there. And reaching out, looking around for work. All the county agencies, Steve and I both been speaking to people and trying to find some work to bring revenue in. I do need some direction on the stairs here, when we want to, if we still are. We had spoken, the 3 of us, while we were out back today, Phil and Rick and Steve, about paving the walking path. And I'll get numbers for you for the next meeting for that, because I don't remember what we were.
I don't think you should pay that. I think it's better when it's a dirt or gravel. It's not as hard, especially the older ones are gonna be, it's less damage on joints.
And that's up to you guys. The problem with the stone is you can't keep the grass from overtaking it, because you can't use weed killers in the park.
I'll take it, if we don't pave it, won't that get some ruts and make it
falling or whatever?
I don't know. It's a pretty good stone base, and nobody's driving on it.
Yeah.
So, no
My
problem.
opinion, I think if you're gonna, if people are jogging on it, it's something you don't wanna pay,
That's
it's more, it's causes more injury than if you have stone that gives or whatever you have.
And that's up to the board, what you wanna do with it. Get you some prices and decide what you wanna do. And you go with it. I think there's a couple of those things that we need to look at. We kind of talked about them last year, but we never did anything.
Or you end up like Reese, where they have the one where it's paved, and then people run along the side of it, which create this path. That's any better. Or I don't know.
I mean,
Well, it depends on what you put down.
I was just saying though, I mean, what about stone dust on it? Or would that just turn to mush?
I think when it's wet, you have.
It'd be mush.
Yeah, but they use, like the track and field, like the running track for school, yeah, I don't know.
It's really.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know, it's nice though.
It is
It's
nice,
nice.
and
Yeah.
it's expensive.
I'm sure.
Yeah, if you wanna do that,
A stone product or a sand product?
no,
It's
it's,
No.
almost like an
Rubberized.
asphalt, but it's.
It's like rubber.
It's a
It's like
cushion.
rubber. it's almost like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
it's expensive.
I think it's that rubber that,
Yeah, it's pretty, that would be, yeah, that would be fine, but that's,
So just some stuff for the board to think about and kind of decide as we start coming into the time of year when we can do these things, what we wanna do.
but as far as we never aimed to do the concrete up front. I would say anytime that it's, I mean, maybe it's still too cold out at night, you wouldn't wanna do it, but I would think as soon as the weather warms up here enough at night, so it's not dropping down below freezing, I would say to go ahead and do it. I mean, you know, if you got an extended period of time, what it would, to get it done now before your summer work actually gets in.
And we'll- conservatively, I'd say you'd be without that for a week
Right.
at a time, if we can break it out in a day and be ready to pour the next day. And then I kinda have to figure out how to put the pieces together, because the one piece of the sidewalk is the end piece of this sidewalk. So we gotta kind of work all those pieces together.
so when they come in at the other side, so.
Unless we wanna hold off a little bit, Liz is doing all these informals and everything. When you got so many people coming in.
So it's not a hurry, just when you want me to do it, I know it's on everybody's mind and
Okay.
it needs to get done, so just give me a time frame when you
Okay.
think we're ready.
Fair enough.
Let's see, when it should be done, the end of May.
No, that's, the informals are right now, everything should be done by the end of May. Even with the 5 members of the, what you call it, yeah, board of assessment review. Her informals are going to go on another week or so, and then the board of assessment review, or another week and a half.
Last meeting, didn't you say 6 weeks, you think 6 weeks, middle of May?
She's got a vacation in there, but yeah, she's doing like a week and a half off and then vacation and then she has 2 weeks maybe. and then-
No, it's not like you're getting a huge influx of people all at the same time,
And they can just.
Yeah.
I'd say,
right,
through the stairs.
We just have to tell them to come on that side.
Right.
Or go there.
when they, yeah, I don't think it's I would say as soon as you can get, as soon as you could,
What,
otherwise.
what do you want? Are we just replacing what's there? Utilizing the same railing system, or?
I would, yeah, because I don't think we're, at this time, we're not gonna replace the whole front railing system, the whole roof and everything over it.
No.
I would just replace tear out what's there, and
Just make what's there again.
safe.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
can
make it
reuse
safe.
the railing, handrail over it, but.
I think we can, I mean, we may have to replace the bottom of the 2 posts.
Because the railing is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's the anchor flange for the wall. Okay.
Are there any thoughts about fixing that steps that come in? I know I
No,
had them.
which ones here?
Those, yeah.
Oh,
And I
I don't
The actual
think you-
steps that we have boarded off,
Yeah.
no, they're illegal. To get them to be legal would be right out and over top of where our, we'd have to put a whole new sidewalk in.
Okay.
but you,
No,
but you also, we couldn't have stairs incorporated with a ramp. That's why we took the stairs out of the back. If someone wheels out of the door and goes down the stairs.
That's true, but also, they're also non-conforming, yeah, people were tripping. Okay, so that doesn't include this, this is for a different project down the road.
what the stairs we're talking about, we're gonna put,
Stairs, I was just gonna bring up.
Oh,
Okay. Somewhat-
I just assumed tear the stairs right out of there.
Okay. Well, that's something you guys can talk about then.
Anything else?
I think
Yes.
that's, we have the dates for brush pickup, junk drop off. Betty Jo has those, they'll go in the paper.
Yeah.
We have the date for the hazardous waste drop off.
No, when's that?
Yeah,
It's always in June.
Where?
It's June, it's in Ogden. I'll get it for you. It's not
Okay.
ready to be advertised yet. It's,
somebody just asked about it today in the
yeah,
office,
it's
so.
almost 2 months away. It's, yeah, early in June.
Okay.
So that's scheduled, so all that'll be in the paper. So,
Okay, thank you. Our recreation supervisor.
We had an eclipse event today, that happened. I've been very, very busy. Sports registration ends Friday. We have lots of kids and lots of teams, which is awesome. I've been working with Sweden and Kendall, making sure everyone has a team, whether it be here, there, or between the two. Talked to Mike about getting the field ready. Saw Harry was back today, nice to see the first guy. It's spring.
keep me happy.
Right. Our next brochure is gonna go out hopefully at the end of the month. Everyone's dying question is when is summer camp registration gonna open, so hopefully that opens in the middle of the month. We're trying to give our regulars a chance to get a spot first, anyone that uses us throughout the year. And then we'll open it up from there. February break, they had a nice trip, we had a lot of kids February break. No, spring break, I don't know what month it is. Spring break. We got a lot of kids, we maxed out 20 kids most days, so we've just been busy, chugging along. What?
Okay. Our town clerk, Katie Jo.
Well, I got a full book of a report, but I didn't bring it, so I have really nothing to report.
Okay.
Things are,
Nothing you think of right offhand, taxes or anything?
taxes are slowing down and picking up on, people asking when brush pickup is. We're pretty busy today, phone calls, where can I get glasses?
I got it here.
Where, so we're still doing the plastic drive, where are all these benches? Do we have like 10 or 11 benches? Well, they're in the Morton building, and then there's one that's, Life Solutions that's in my office right now. We just finished, things have sort of changed, because now we have to collect 1,000 pounds instead of 500, so we only get one bench per year for the organization, where before we were getting 2 benches per year. So it slowed down a little bit, but they're in the Morton building.
They gotta be put
Life
together
Solution
yet
is gonna
somehow.
keep their bench that they got under their organization. So they're coming in just slower now. I don't know. The Lions Club took theirs for casino night. So there's, 8 out there?
They're double stacked, so that sounds right, they're on top of each other. I can picture them, they're over by the coffin, but I don't know how many there are.
So 10 total, number 11 is coming. They're all for the walking trail? Wherever, yeah.
Where are we gonna put
We
'em?
got places to put them.
We'll definitely have to figure out where to put them on a walking trail when it dries up or whatever. You can't get concrete out there that ain't going to anything right now. So we definitely need to walk out there, or Mike does, and see, and try to keep away from houses that maybe object to them, which is fine, there's enough spots out there to put them without making some people mad, in the way of disc golf or whatever, so.
I did see people playing disc golf today.
Yeah, they
That
were
was
out there, I
nice.
was,
Oh, can I add something?
no.
No, I did tell you guys to do too. There was some chatter on Facebook about the playground and lack of handicap accessibility. I know Steve and I have talked about it before. And Mike and I, there's not really much access on the playground, but you can't even get to the playground, which is even worse. I don't have the solution, I'm just passing that information along.
Get-
Yeah, in the parking lot.
A path is easy, a path to what, there is nothing, we have no handicap accessible playground features on the playground,
Right.
so the path is easy.
Like
It's
three
the-
times that.
It's the equipment,
It's the equipment, the special equipment.
yes, it's very expensive, but not
The
saying,
one
not saying we couldn't
wheelchair-
put something out there.
Yeah, the one wheelchair swing we had just got ruined.
Kids destroy it, right, the older kids, right.
That's why you always have to have that separate, like they do out at, what's it, Basil, whatever that park is in Greece. They have a special, area just for that.
I know.
Just part of that.
Parma just put one in too, and it was, I forget how many hundreds of thousands it was. They got a big grant,
though.
yeah.
But if you should, and then the other kids just don't bother with it, they just, you call it.
I'm not saying we can't do something, but that playground isn't, that playground with the wood chips isn't real conducive to handicap stuff. You'd almost need, like Joel was saying, something over to the side, you could put it ground level. And not, you gotta have wood chips, have rubber mats or
Just
something.
rubber mats over, yeah.
Right.
I would like to see at least a path though from the library sidewalk to the playground, because I mean,
It's muddy.
it's muddy and, you
It
know,
can be money down.
wagons, strollers, anything that has wheels trying to get it there is,
Yeah.
So that's the easy part.
that's my 2 cents.
Make it happen.
So I thought, what's gonna be where the wheelchair swing is and behind it? 'Cause we talked about putting that exercise equipment where
Shit.
We have looked at some, the climbing mechanisms, they kind of look like a spider web, and some spinners we had looked at, we had talked to a couple of different playground
The
companies.
spinner could be handicap accessible, that, just a merry-go-round, whatever you wanna call it, just. But, you know, the climbing.
Everything is just so expensive, every piece of equipment.
But I'm not saying we can't do something out there, but it's, like I say, it's how much, it's not real conducive to putting a lot of handicaps out there.
Do we know if the Brick Schoolhouse Road playground will be?
I have not heard of what equipment, well, a swing set they're gonna put down there is all I know. I don't know what other equipment they would want to put down there. We haven't heard from them in a while, in months.
I thought their last drawings had a play set. It was actually a lot more than what they, originally they started out and said, no, it did not cover playground equipment. Then it turned into it did, and like you said, there was a swing set there.
Yeah,
I believe there was a play set there.
Oh, so too, and that was quite a while ago, it said.
So I did that part, the play set's gone. Everything of ours is done there. So now we're waiting to see what happens.
they asked for permits since now, the water authority's talked to it, but I haven't heard an awful lot lately. Maybe they're just waiting for the winter time to get done, I don't know.
That's actually not a bad idea though, Kaylee, because they're already making it all, the whole point was to make this walking path all handicap accessible. They've already incorporated that into the plan.
A lot of the
Nice
playground equipment is,
If they, the playground equipment there at least was, people had one.
I think it was a Lifetime House that was inquiring. I don't know of any children in the area that have needs that I know of, nobody said anything to me, I think it was a staff that was Lifetime facility.
Open now we can check in the equipment payment. We can talk
Yeah,
about
I'm just
highway and see what it would cost.
Bringing it to your attention, I know.
Okay,
That's my decision today.
okay.
The only other thing, I don't know, if you spoke to everybody, after our last meeting, we had the questions with the finalization of the sewer bill, and Steve and I did have a sit-down meeting with them. Villager came out last week, they were here for 3 days, took care of everything that we had concerns with. So, you know, they were right on top of taking care of their part of it. The question about the barrels was really a problem on the engineering firms. They didn't relay to us that we had traded things in the contract rather than add things and do this and that. So what was owed for that bill is really what was owed, because other things were more expensive. They were working on rewording that, so we actually had the proper paperwork, but everything was taken care of. So we should be all set with that.
MRB is gonna give us a check for the others.
That's right. They did agree to compensate us for all the work that we put into it that really was their responsibility. So that was good.
So we can help that bill, but now it's
It's paid already, yeah. Once we finalized everything, I sent the bill to them.
if people have issues with like their landscaping stuff now that bringing here, who's responsible for that?
They still should be calling MRB. MRB is still our things, and they're still, like I say, there is a 1-year contract. That they may not come out, they may wait for 2 or 3 unless there isn't 2 or 3. They may wait for a couple of people to complain and then bring a truck out and do 3 or whatever complaints they got all at the same time.
It only has to be from damage, because I know when we talked to whatever, it says sometimes people have a version of what they think their yard should look like, not what their yard used to look like before this happened. And it really
Right.
should only be fixing what they did,
Right.
not redoing it or anything, you know, people's whole yard. I don't know.
But tell people to contact them.
Yes. My report, I was gonna talk about that, but that's, no, that's, you're fine, that's, you're the sewer superintendent, that's your area anyway, so I saw.
Now you'd be like Patty Joe, you got nothing to report.
No, I got a little, we just got
Good try.
still.
That's right.
Like I said, we did have that thing, I've been busy trying to help with this eclipse and everything, getting everything, making sure everything was ready and everything for like that. Phil, me and Rick were out there working all day with our recreation and everything. Not working as hard as we thought we were gonna be, but we were out there, trying to help and everything. Putting stuff up, taking stuff down, whatever. Of course, as we were talking earlier, we've been talking with towers and everything, trying to figure out all that stuff. Trying to figure out the overlay permit and everything for the other tower. Going through different laws here and there, listening to some complaints about the reassessment, but like I said, it hasn't been that bad, so I am pleasantly surprised and everything. I did, no, I forgot. I can do it next. But there was something else, but I've been busy with other things, checking on other things too. For all the stuff that we have coming up. But, all right, is there any discussion
I
tonight?
did ask,
What?
and it might be what you couldn't remember.
That's okay.
I talked to JP at the planning board about the water, and JP said they're about a week or 2 away from having something to present to the town board as far as what districts maybe we could look at trying to go after some grant money for the water lines. I don't know if that's what you were thinking.
No, it wasn't. Like I said, I know we have been working, you guys all got that stuff the other day for the hospital, the other property up there.
What is Farm Fest?
What's that?
Farm Fest?
Farm Fest is gonna be August 24th. We've been working on that too, trying to get everything set.
Where did we land with that Eagle Scout? You wanted to come in and do the signs, like the.
I responded to him that what he was proposing really wasn't what we were looking for. And he didn't, I gave him the reasons, and he said, thanks for the consideration, that was it. And I think now we're almost past.
It was May, yeah, you only got about one more month.
Could one of them benches be already? Because we have so many.
Already together,
Oh, I thought there was a couple that weren't yet, they're all done?
just the one that, the Life Solutions
Oh,
is gonna take.
Okay, I see there was something stacked up there. All right then, discussion, we have a zoning workshop on the 18th. There we can talk about some of this stuff we just did tonight and everything, I know some of this stuff just came up last week, so it's like, okay, so I just wanted to get it because we need to get it done quickly, some of it, so. But we can, during our zoning workshop, we go more in depth on that. And there is another issue, Cheryl, came up during a planning board meeting, for the zoning workshop. Oh, they wanted, like, barns, they wanna know, like, how many, if you're so many feet wide, how high is the peak for the overall height and stuff, so. We're supposed to have, maybe have somebody, builder come in and give us what actually dimensions should be so that the planning board and stuff knows that we have it set. There, this is what we need, this is what the height needs to be, this is what we'll allow, because right now they're just guessing.
What is it for different barns? Like, when you have like a barn, that's, because you would have residential people do barns, right? But then you would think you would have for like a big farm, it'd be completely different on the specs that you would have for a barn for like Martin Farms or whatever, right? It wouldn't,
Right.
Well, and it depends on zoning as well.
It does, each zoning district has their own specific place for runs.
Right,
And we already have all that,
okay.
so.
You know, like a residential person's not gonna put one of those
The
gigantic.
maximum like 15 feet and some are 25 feet. If you go into like, shoreline residential. And then they always come in and ask for variances to have.
A lot of them come in and they ask if the variances go higher, so that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to
A
fix that.
set plan saying, all right, if it's this many feet wide, the peak, because of the snow load in this area has to be this.
Right.
They're always, yeah, the variances, I mean, every month they got one for a variance.
So we should probably fix that. So they don't have to keep on.
Give them guidelines,
Right.
right, it's a guideline, all right, this is it.
I can print out from the code all the zoning districts and specifically make a little packet for each.
I know, but they're coming in with a building size width, and then the height, we wanna know what is actually the height, it's gotta be for that width.
And they're on the plans and they're submitted.
So, we just need a sheet of paper,
Yeah.
contract, or
I can do
whatever.
something, yeah.
Any other discussion? Well, we're gonna go into executive session. I just put it on there.
Okay.
We're gonna go into executive session regarding proposed litigation. At 7:54?
Yeah.
Building site.
That's 55 minutes.
My response.